well, welcome back to Leith Central, and today we're going to start marking up, ready to get the wood for the platform level and also the legs for the baseboard. So we're going to clear it off, and we've got the brew on the go. Got the coffee there. So we've got brew on the go. We're going to clear the board off, and we're going to start marking up how much wood we're going to need for the platform levels. I've also already marked up for the legs, so we'll get that marking up done, and then off to the shop to get some wood. Okay, so that's the marking up done. We're going to need close to quite a lot of balsa wood. I think it worked out at somewhere close to around the 10 metre mark, which I think I've done my calculations a bit wrong. So I'm going to start with, I've got to get a couple of longer pieces in and just buy it in stages. Get the main platform area going down, sort of like along this long side here, and then across the back done first, and fill in that area and test that my theories are correct on how it'll fit together. And then before I put the main platforms in here and here, one platform the full length of the board and the other one tailing off around the marks where you saw me put the track on and mark it up. I've also test fitted where the point mortars will fit, and drilled some little pilot holes in the board using the handheld screwdriver, just to test where they will fit, and also that they didn't interfere with any of the cross members underneath the board, and to make sure all that was clear. Also, I've marked on the end the rough holes that will be drilled there for where wiring and everything will go through the end of the board. So we'll go and get some wood for the legs and the start of the balsa wood, and we'll hopefully get some progress made on getting this board stood up and some platform level stuff put on, so we can actually start on getting the cork in place for the trap bed as well. That's my shopping list for the mother shop just now, so I'll disappear and get that, and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so we've had a trip down the model shop, and we've got the cork for the tops for underneath the track underlay. Also picked up a bag of weather ballast while I was there, just for when we get to ballasting the track. Also picked up these Pico platform edgings that for setting up the areas of the platform. What I have there is I've set up a length that's roughly the length of the far platform, which will form the motor rail platform. That's going to be the first one I put on. Just going to experiment around with that while I wait. I've put the wood on order for making the legs, so we're just going to experiment around that. I'm just going to tack the platform edgings in place with trap pins, so they'd be quite easy to take off when I turn the board over to put the legs on. So we'll get on with doing that now. So we've got I'll put the platform edges in first, and then we'll look at getting the cork laid for that back platform. So that's the line out done of where this platform end's going to go. So what I've done is from the Pico strips, which incidentally are, if I just got the box, the actual edging stones I'm using are LK60, the platform edging brick type. I'm not going to use the brick papers on these. I'm actually going to stick some brick to them, some embossed brick, up to the coping stone level. So what I've done is I've cut the first piece, which is the platform end. As you see there, I've filed a 45-degree chamfer into the end so I can get a flush corner in the platform edge. Doesn't matter so much on this back edge here, because this is where the wall is actually going to go up against the back seam. That there will be where the buildings run to and where the overall roof runs to. Also on that I'll be fitting basically a lip to fit like these plastic lugs do to support the actual base of the platforms. So I'll get this first bit pinned in place and show you what my rough idea is with fitting these. As I say, I'm going to make these detachable because I've still got to fit the legs to the board, and also they'll have to have the coping stones fitted, and I've got the brick papers fitted and also weathered up and painted. So these will be detachable. It's just so I can get the cork in place and get some track down, get things moving on the channel, so there's something for you actually watch being built. So while we wait for the wood, we'll get on with some of that, and we'll have a look at fitting this first piece in place, and then getting on to getting the edge of what will be platform 5, as you can see there, fitted into place. Okay, so that's the platform end roughly pinned into place. Just what I did there was a couple of ultrafine track pins, which I used for just track in place for positioning. What I've done is I've knocked them halfway in, if I come around the back, and then bent them over to hold the piece in place there, just so I can now line up. If I bring in this piece and look at how I can get that chamfer put in, I need to put the chamfer into the end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this from the far end of the platform and then use a filling piece there to, like an offcut, to cover that gap. So that one will remain tacked in place. So now what I'll do is I'll go and measure up the other end, and we'll get the ramps tacked into place and get the rough width of the platform set, so we can get the length of cork laid out with a rough framework to work to. Quite easy to work with, quite easy to cut to length, these pieces of plastic strip. Just got to watch with where you position now with regards to these little plastic tabs on the back. Like, you don't want to get your cut right in the middle of one of those, because it'd be quite difficult to get it to break cleanly or cut cleanly straight down, making it a bit stronger at the bottom rather than the top. But all in all, a nice easy product to work with these. So that's that first test piece put into place. We'll get on with looking at doing the ramp end now. So at the ramp end of the board, just to give an idea of the position and the approach into this shorter of the platforms, what I've done here is I've marked on the board pre-corking where roughly the point motor hole will go, just for point. So if I slide in the actual track formation, that's roughly where it was positioned. So that gives me roughly where my platform end will go, which is at the end of that piece of curved set track there. So this mark here is the end of the platform. So I'll get to measuring that out and marking that out, and we'll get on with putting the first ramp in place. I'll also mark up the platform to show where the other side will go as well, and we'll get the full ramp put in place, and also a couple of side pieces, and then I'll look at laying some cork and also looking at the platform heights with comparison, because I may end up putting these platform edgings up onto the cork if they're a little bit low. So we'll see how this goes. Mainly a little bit of an experiment here. As I say, everything's just tacked in place lightly, and everything will be coming off again apart from the cork when we put the legs on the board. So we'll get to having a rough test fit of this end and see how things go. So that's the first couple of pieces of platform edging fitted. I'll just take you through how I fit them with the next panel there. It actually works out I can get this platform out of one box of these platform edgings, so I'm just going to finish this platform edging off and then get round to doing the corking for platform 5. so that's how the pins are going in, just to tack them in place. What I'm doing is just knocking it, drilling a little pilot hole and then tapping them in halfway and then bending them over to hold the piece in place temporarily, just so them fine track pins can just be pulled out afterwards. I find these are track pins I actually bought by mistake. I actually prefer to use the thicker ones, and the track will be glued in place eventually, so I'm just using these for tacking purposes like this. They are basically expendable parts. So that's most of that platform fitted. But what I'll do now is I'll move on to the caulking. And for the caulking, I've, from the local model shop, picked up this, which is a fast setting wood glue, mainly because of the bending of the cork from it being in a roll, just to get it flat, and it saves having to put weight on it for far too long. That's a Javis product, so that there's no catalogue number on that bottle that I can see. I think it might be in the dark at the bottom, so I'll put that in the description. It's basically just a fast setting PVA, but that's what I'm using to stick in place the cork. So we'll get the first piece of cork cut and laid at this end up here, which is, as you can see, marked out there, which I'm going to narrow that down and change the marking slightly, but we'll get on with that now. Okay, so that's the first piece of caulking laid, the approach and the turnout from platform 4 onto platform 5. The turnout here is just tacked in place, as is this curve here. The line in the platform's not pinned in place yet. Main reason it's just test tacked in place is for, as you see, I've got the Mark II DBSO there, is just to check this overhang. Make sure it wasn't going over the edge of the baseboard for where the overall roof will sit, and also the back seam, so it didn't catch on the back seam. Maximum length that will be going into will probably be a Mark II BSO. Mark III is what operating here with it being the motor rail siding, but that's just to check the mainly for rough length on a class 158, which I intend on adding to the fleet. With the Mark II back out there, as you can see, I've got the platform edging fitted right the way down, just tacked in place. So if I move the Mark II back in, you can see that's sitting a little low there. So what I'm going to do is, underneath the bottoms of the platform there, I'm going to actually make the platforms so they can be lifted out. I'm going to fit a layer of 3mm card underneath those platform edges, to bring it up to height, and also it means that the platforms can be lifted out in one part if required. It also means I can get to work on them while I'm waiting for the legs and get the platforms coming out from the back line. I mean, the back line will be fixed with the Baseboard method I mentioned earlier in the video. But that area here
coming up the platforms of 1, 2 and 3 and 4, coming up platform 2 and 3, sorry, and 4 and 5 will make them so I can lift them out, and it'll be a case of all the wiring will be all the wiring for the lights and stuff will be self-contained within the platform, and that way if I have a fault in the platform, I'll just lift the whole platform out, and rather than having to take the whole board to pieces to get them out, I'll just lift the platform out. So making it all sort of collapsible, like I was discussing with the building. If you go back and have a look in the second update, where we looked at the building of the building and the plans for that. So the plan for the rest of March is to get the rest of the cork fitted, and hopefully by then we should have some wood arrived for building the legs for this board. If not, I might get it onto a couple of DIY trestles just to get it up to a better working height, so I'm not working on the bedroom floor, and so the background's not a pile of folded bed sheets. So we'll get onto that. But this area here, as you can see, I've left a little bit of extra in the corking area, so I can make that curve a little bit lighter and replace with a medium radius point. But the area here is fixed due to where the diagonal is under the board here. That's the furthest forward I could fit a point motor, so that's fixed everything on that side. You can see I've also marked on here where I'm going to put the wiring between the boards, so holes drilled here and here and here and here, and then the plug system between the boards, so I've marked that on as well. I'm slowly marking the cork up as I go, so yeah, it saves on the job. The next thing will be to fit the cork down platform 3 and 4. What I'll do is I'll just, rather than fitting the edge in, what I'll do is I'll put a straight edge in where the platform edge would be and fit it to that straight edge. I mean, I can untack what's down platform 5 now and move that over onto platform 3, but we've got the straight edge for coming up this side of the cork here. That straight edge there will form adjacent to platform number 3. And then, as you can see from the marks here, just the rough marks on the edge of the baseboard, there is the width of platform 2, 3. Then you've got your gap for the tracks in platform 1, 2. Moving over to here, you can see I've marked on that corner there where the leg and also the thickness of the supports under the board, and also where roughly the bridge supports would go, because I'm going to have a bridge over here. That bridge basically will just help cover the baseboard join and also separate the station off from the rest of the layout. Basically it makes it sort of like two layouts in one and makes it self-contained for filming and makes it more interesting angles. I've actually seen a bridge advertised in one of the classifieds of the magazine, which I'll show you now, which I'm thinking of ordering to modify into this place, because it looks very similar to Waverley Bridge in its construction. So it's a laser cut kit. I'll see if I can find that in the magazine and I'll show you a quick shot of that now. So this is the laser cut kit I'm looking at ordering to form the basis of the bridge over the entrance into Leith Central. I'm gonna get a hold of this and probably kit bash it to suit the station throughout. That's from www.englishmotherrailways.shop. £39.90 for that kit, so it's quite an expensive laser cut kit. So what I'm going to do, the reason I picked up this magazine that it's in, this is BRM. Let's see if you BRM there. Let's say we've got that diesel era layout in there. Let's say the 56 on the coal train just drew my attention to it. But also in this, with this magazine, you got the laser cut terrace houses, which I've never built any of the laser cut kits. I've always preferred to work in plastic, and of course I've done the Metcalf ones before. I think this is sort of like going to be somewhere about in the middle with the laser cut kit. I've just taken it out and basically nipped the web in half just to make it so it fit in frame. But I'm going to have a go at building that and painting it and weathering it up. It may not have anywhere to fit on Leith Central, but it's just a nice little project, and maybe use it on a diorama or something. And if I make a complete hash of it, I can always use it as a background for one of my military kits, one of my helicopters or something. Also comes with the door and window frames. Got some plastic clear sheet out like I've been doing for the building with Leith Central, putting them. but we'll give that a go and maybe do a video putting that together. Because doubtless many people have also got the same kit from Biting BRM. It's one I buy occasionally, depending what's on the front. Quite a good issue, this one. As I say, it's like there's bits in there about scratch building from plastic. If I know I've been a bit vague in my description, so there's a cattle dog building that's quite interesting, and also some diesels at Pendon, which is a cracking looking layout. So plenty of warships and western photos on the Pendon layout, so worth picking that up. So I hope you enjoyed the update, and we'll get back to you later in the month, hopefully with all the caulking down, and then we'll look at getting the tracking place in the board, getting all the wiring holes and point motor holes drilled into the board. Won't be doing any wiring until the board's up on its legs, but we're looking at doing all the stuff we can with keeping the board fairly flat, so there's not much I have to take off when I do fit the legs. But we've got some content coming now. We've got the first board on the go, and we have the build of Leith Central underway. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Go and check out some of our other videos of the real railway, the 1-to-1 scale play thing that I go play with at work. There's links in the description to to the products I used, and I'll put a product list of the things I've used in this episode here at the end. So once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.